Hey, welcome back to Cylance TV. I am Matt Stevenson here with Mike and John from Rocus Networks. That's kind of an interesting word. Please, there's got to be a story behind that. There's got to be some history.
Yeah, we really just made it up. I mean, you know, trying to find a domain name is pretty hard these days. So we found Rocus, has a definition in the Urban Dictionary. It means handsome man.
So I feel that's a good place to start any business, right? Especially in IT and security.
Yeah, but also probably more meaningful, it means going against conventional methods, right?
So Rocus is kind of young, but you guys have come out of the gates very strong. You've had some big success. What's the focus?
Well, the focus is, what I always say, is protecting those who can't protect themselves, right? And what do I mean by that? Smaller businesses, right? They're over-challenged, under-resourced, and what we do is we come in and provide a security as a service to them, right? So we provide a prevention-first approach, and really, ultimately, we're trying to bring enterprise-class technology to the SMB.
Now, that's something we hear a lot from people, but you're the one who is the SOC manager. You have got now not just a bunch of seats under you, have a bunch of different businesses that you've got to shuffle that deck into something cohesive that is manageable for you, but yet they're all protected not just from the outside stuff, but from the inside. What is that like running the SOC for an MSP?
For an MSP, for anyone realistically, the struggle. As we know, by 2021 there's going to be 3.4 million deficit of security analysts and engineers. So that means I have a lot of stress under the fact that I'm trying to manage these sub-companies that utilize and need manning of ample amounts, so at least 10 people per small company. So I have to take that on board and utilize the tools like Cylance and the prevention first to eliminate all the noise that's going to come down the line when they're trying to respond to things that have been identified. So automation and obviously utilizing the keys and the processes to eliminate and create time. So from that is obviously one of my struggles, but then the communication between the companies also is hard because a lot for the companies, they don't know technology and especially cybersecurity. So we have to develop and push ourselves into their business in quite an aggressive manner to get them to the stage where they are preventative and that we don't have to then keep responding to smaller threats that are able to be eliminated from the get-go.
Now, you mentioned prevention, and that's something that Cylance, obviously, we talk about prevention from the endpoint level, but for Rocus, that's your focus across the whole thing, all of the different vendors you work with. Where else does that come into play? You know, at the strategy level for you, like when you were right down there in the muck and the blood of you know, the SOC taking care of these things, is it possible? Can we get to a point where we can prevent the bad things from happening?
Yeah, I think we can. You know, it's kind of like the analogy of, you know, you might have an alarm system in your house, but I hope you still lock your doors, right? I mean, you know, we don't just give up, right? And I think the industry as a whole for many years has kind of said, taking this approach and, you know, prevention's not possible, let's just detect everything and respond to it, right? You know, the majority of attacks can be prevented. And what we see with our clients each day, right, and what he's doing in a security operations center is, we are blocking just about everything. When we're giving updates to our clients on a daily basis, it's generally informational type updates. It's not, oh, something bypassed a control and now, you know, we've had to respond to it. It's more to let them know that something came in, we blocked it, you're okay, and it's just giving them information. So yeah, prevention is possible.
But then from an operational side, it's an ongoing endeavor. So everything's changing, everything needs to be reassessed. So even though like with Cylance, you put it in, it's meant to be silent, and theoretically it is, but you still need to keep going and churning through the network data to see the correlation, because as things change, obviously we need to be adapting and constantly monitoring our tools. And in a cybersecurity environment nowadays, if you aren't doing that, constantly questioning yourself, you're not gonna keep the preventative constant. So in 6 weeks down the line, when things have changed, your network then becomes open, then your defense in depth is just silence. You're not relying on your network because it's bypassing it. So for us as an operational, that obviously it keeps us working quite heavily. But for an SMB to have that capability, obviously that's our main goal, to always be in the networks and always identify what the threat goes to, capture the ICs, automate it, and then obviously if we can, prevent it before it happens ever again.
So as you guys are constantly growing, as you're saying with the SMB market, it's the more you can take off of their plate so they can focus on their business. What are you guys looking at for the next thing? Is there a next thing, or do you want to just to continue to hone this specialty, get better and better and better every day?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, yes, that's what we want to do. When we started the company 4 years ago, we sought out to just be experts in security and not do everything, right? I think what we're also doing, we're helping the end users, but there's a lot of what I consider MSPs out there who might not be experts in security. So what's the next thing? We're working a lot with those folks now to enable them to bring a better security solution to their end users, right? So how do we enable other businesses who are in the game of managing, let's just say IT as a whole, but how do we bring something to them to bring to their customers and do a better job of security? Because I think most of the MSPs out there recognize that in the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to have to be their core focus.
For folks that are looking for more information on Rocus, whole world, Rocus, where can they go? Where can they find you?
Just check us out, rocusnetworks.com. I mean, that's the best place to go. So,
Individually, any socials, any of the LinkedIn, the Twitters, Instagram?
We're all over social media.
So
easy found. John Britton on LinkedIn.
Mike Caruso on LinkedIn. So love to see you. Check it out. I like to put up articles. I like to, I'm pretty vocal on LinkedIn. So
These are the ones we like, the vocal ones. With all the other questions that you're looking for, make sure you check us out at threatvector.cylance.com. On Twitter, we are at Cylance and at Cylance Inc. I am Matt Stevenson. You can find me at PacMat73 on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you soon.